And we kicked off with the LMP cars making their way down towards the first corner. The number 70, the real-time hydrogen Redline cars, our winners last time out, would lead us down to the first corner. And we would have an incident, sadly, the R8G there having a bit of a coming together with the Fordzilla car WRT, unfortunately in trouble as well. We look back then to our GT, and it was the BMW team Redline that led, but they would be ganged up on by a flurry of Porsches. The Proton there going to the outside of the Porsche, and the Proton would go into second and then into first, all in one move. Here was the number 8 R8G being a little bit too ambitious as they tried to clear the traffic. We were into the traffic just under 20 minutes in. Hydrogen struggled to stay within the top three. Mao Racing Team decided that the grass was the racing line and went off and took out Tesla with them and received the drive-through penalty for their actions. Battles continued up. This was when GPX Rebellion Williams took the lead away from Redline in towards Pouon. And then Redline would fight back, and then Rebellion would come again once more, going around the outside there at Les Combes. And then we went quickly into the pits and back out again, and Erhan Yayovsky would draw closer to make it a three-way fight for the lead. Proton, meanwhile, were just clearing away out front, doing an absolutely brilliant job to clear away from the Porsches. More battling going on here. This was when R8G got ahead of Redline. That was our swap for second that we saw a little while ago. And here's where we lost our championship leaders, clattering the curve through Blanchimont, losing a rear wheel, and it's unlikely now that we will see them again in this race.
R8G were battling it out with GPX Williams for the race lead, and a bit of a spin from D Station into the path of Team Project 1 would drop Project 1 right down the order. Unfortunately for them, the race would come about a little bit in one of their other cars, as Red Bull had a bit of an issue coming into pit lane. Dennis Jordan just overcooked the rears a little bit and then had a bit of a slow entry. Al Buncombe, big mistake over the top of Radion into the wall hard. Didn't lose a wheel though and was able to keep going, but did break the suspension. A bold move there from Luke Browning down the inside of Jordi's veers through traffic, and it allowed Fabrice Cornelis to try and steal the position off of the Team Fordzilla driver. An excellent move down through Pouon, had to go around the outside at Fagnes and was able to make the position up. The two Porsche Esports drivers would switch positions as Tommy Osgaard and Mac Backham would change over. Not too hard between the two of them as they would try and chase down the Proton competition car that was leading the class of GTE. A big move though, and a big battle between Felix Rosenqvist and Yiffy Yi around the outside. The attempt was from the Swede, wasn't able to make this one stick, and this battle would continue over and over and over again. An absolutely superb battle for what was second on the road, allowing Erhan Yayovsky to clear away. Another attempt around the outside, wasn't able to make this one stick. Eventually it would come down into La Source, but this was the mistake from the number 57. A big moment over the top, created a bit of a switch between the Panis and Bicoles cars, and there is another dive from Felix Rosenqvist. This battle was just delivering on every single level. Extreme on the attack, extreme on the defense, as Yiffy Yi was causing some frustrations for Felix Rosenqvist. And again, a bit more of a brush through the final chicane, as there's a little bit of a moment there from Felix Rosenqvist. Big moments was the talk of this battle. Eventually though, that move into La Source, a big dive down the inside, and finally up into second position, and then started hammering in lap times that would close in on the leaders. Unfortunately though, a bit of a moment for Fabrice Cornelis, and lost of the rear wing to the 111 Red Bull Racing Esports car.
Real team car, very much on a mission. Lots of onboard action, lots of issues, bang, into the barrier at the top of Loradion. That's not the thing you want to be doing, but it's very easily done. The number 1 car of Louis Delatraz was getting himself very much rolling up the sleeves and getting stuck in there with everybody else as he could be. And again, it's the Rougier car, the R8G Esports car, who was in the battle. Will Stevens was then battling hard, and Will Stevens and the Panis car was round the outside of Delatraz there. And it wasn't Stevens, it was just after that that Will Stevens managed to get himself into the car. The weather did look like it was starting to close in, but then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we've started to get a little bit of bright blue skies coming back. The 88 car, well, the 88 car has been having a jolly good time up the front of the GTE race. The 91 Porsche Esports car currently sits in 4th place. Martin Kronk at the wheel of that one, but business was very much as usual. A bit of opposite locking places you don't want. Then the Axel Sport car mounted the curb coming through Eau Rouge and Loradion. And that's what happened to it. Lost the front right wheel, managed to get the car back to the pits, and then off goes the other one as well into the other side of the track. Trying to drive back without a rear wing is never the best thing to do. Delatraz found himself in the lead after a few pit stops, and in the race, Clutch car managed to go off on the way in towards the corner with no name. The 15 car, just a little bit of exit curb, and we saw them having a pretty untidy run towards the grass there. We then had the Panis car all over the back. Mitchie Hoyer was really showing his class as well in this race. The FDA 51 Ferrari getting a little bit wide over the curbs there. And you can see just how different the speed is from a GTE car and a P1 car. Gordy Much took over from Aaron Yuyovsky in the number 8 car at the front, and we have just seen Sage Karam going round the outside of Alan Terzic at the top of the Kemmel Straight. Great move there. Clean as a whistle, and it's a big roll of the dice for the BMW BS team competition. They are expecting rain coming soon.
This was R8G having a big moment coming up the hill there, but then they would go ahead and take the lead away from the BS competition car going down to Les Combes. Back on board with the R8G car, just clearing some traffic from the Red Bull. That was when BMW made a brave move into Pouhon past the GR Wolves car. That was the Team GP in Tesla R8G. Esports going down the inside here ahead of Wolves as they continue to try and climb up the order after a bad qualifying yesterday. Then we had a position switch, and it wasn't fought hard. The 91 switching with the 92. It seems as if they've been working together so far today. This was when Red Bull and Jota, it may have been for 15th, but they were still battling very hard there. Red Bull trying to get through into 16th place, and they did it around the outside there, around Malmedy. Good move that. Jota would then go down the inside at the next corner, and Red Bull would have to come again and would make that move once more as they were on the outside of Pouhon. It would have been a brave attempt. They backed out of it on that occasion. Jota hung on. Then we had the next phase of pit stops. Porsche would come in. Of course, we had our 6th round of pit stops in the prototypes, and in the GTEs it was our 4th round of pit stops. But as they did the first time around, BMW Team Redline were the very last ones to come in GTE. BS competition. This was the moment we saw a little while ago. Davy Perel uphill and a big slide up Radion, but just about saved it.
A great battle between Baikoles Burst Esports and the GPX Williams car, the number 22, which has been really impressing today, although they did receive a 10-second time penalty a bit earlier in the race due to aggressive defence. The number 88 has been out front for pretty much the entirety of the race. However, their time at the front could be coming to an end. We'll have to wait and see what the 71 could do. Big moments and big battles up and down the order, and Redline versus BS competition and the 2 Team BMW teams was absolutely sensational. Around the outside, this one between Lauren Heinrich, just trying to gain a position on Enzo Benito. Fantastic stuff as Benito were experimenting a little bit on strategy, same as BS competition were just an hour ago, still all searching for the wet stuff. An incident between the Simpson Esports car and Axel Motorsports just spun him around as Axel were a little bit aggressive there and Simpson missing the apex, and then a big dive from Nikodem Wisniewski down the inside, not impressing any of his competitors with that move. Didn't gain the position, did manage to back out of it. Then a couple of issues for the Marla car as they dropped down the order courtesy of some connection issues. A position switch between the number 77 and BMW Team GB as Axel Sport nearly cleared their teammates off the road. A bit of a flash of the lights to say, I'm sorry pal, did not mean that one bit. Just diving down the inside at the bus stop chicane. The 1-2-3 car that's been trying to move itself into contention weren't able to do so. A couple of little mistakes from them, but absolutely flying around the Spa circuit, just trying to close down the gap to the number 8, which is leading. The gap's closing. The recent mistake from Nick Foster, straight into the barrier, going up towards Radion, and unfortunately that car is now out of the race. 5 hours down, just one more to go. The number 8 is in control, and Duncan Vincent is back in the commentary booth.
Al Sabti really did put some great time in, but unfortunately there was a pit stop needed towards the end of the day, and then Kevin Siggy started the comeback through the field in his BMW Redline. Into the pit lane went the number 8 car for its splash and dash. Lights were on at this point, but the rain that we were promised never came. Ziggy then decided it was time to make a move on Mitchell de Jong, and he took his chance at the top of Lake Coombe. We'd seen him fuel saving for quite some time before this, going into certain corners, but after this there was still fuel saving getting done by the 71 car. Across came the 1, 2, 3 car to take the checker flag. Bono House will be delighted with that one, and it was a double up for Team Redline. They come through to take number 71, the GTE race win as well. Some fantastic racing, some fantastic battles. Here's our race results. The overall race classification seen Team Redline taking a victory from Floyd by Collis Burst Rebellion GPX Esports in 3rd place. R8G Esports getting some points on the board in 4th, and GPX Rebellion Williams down in 5th place. Alpha Industry by Collis Burst come home in 6th. A good result for Panis, again getting some points on the board, well needed, and the 18 R8G Esports car in 8th place. Team Fordzilla down in 9th place. He'll be disappointed after that one, I have to say. And in 10th place, the 15 race clutch Alpine car. Looking further down behind them, we've got Rocket Sim Sport in 12th place. In fact, sorry, the Race Clutch Alpine car 14 in 11th and 12th place for Rocket Sim Sport. Axel Sport had a day that they might want to forget, down in 13th place, crashing a couple of times. Red Bull Racing Esports, it just didn't work out for those guys in 14th. The Jota car comes home in 15th. Yas Heat again with a bit of damage along the way. ARC Bratislava, Team WRT, another weekend to forget. Mahal Racing Team in 19th, and BMW Team Redline obviously we're into the GTE winner there, taking a very well-deserved victory from the 91 and 92 Porsches, 21st and 22nd respectively. Proton Competition come home with the 88 car in 23rd. BMW Team GB ahead of FDA Esports Ferrari. Well, they did get into that top 5 of the GTE. They'll be pretty happy with that, did they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actually. BMW Team BS Competition ahead of Red Bull Racing Esports Corvette. The Corvette down in 27th place there, Lewis. Proton Competition, Simsa Esports and the GR Wolves Racing car. The 87 in 30th position, running through after 30th. We've got Axel Sports in 31st. D-Station had a disconnect in 37. Tesla Racing Esports didn't have a great day either. They were spun out very early on. Williams Esport, the number 5 car, they picked up a penalty towards the end of it. Team Project 1, the BPM in 35th place in the number 56 car. GR Wolves Racing number 86 car in 36th place. Then Team Project 1 57, 37th overall, and Real Team Hydrogen Redline, the first car out of the race. The championship leaders as they entered Spa in 38th place. So this is the LMP. We see Floyd by Collis Burst going to the top of the championship. 38 points over Team Redline 1, 2, 3 with 31 points. GPX Rebellion Williams with 28 points. And Real Team Hydrogen Redline staying in 4th place with 25 points. No change for them. They're number 1 Rebellion GPX Esports with 25 points. Equal 4th place, but down in 5th on our sheet there. So if we go to the GTE, well, yeah, change at the top, Lewis. You were expecting that to happen. The 91 car comes away with the championship lead, for equal championship lead with the 71 actually. 43 points apiece with Porsche Esports 91 and the number 71 BMW Team Redline. 88 Proton Competition are in 3rd place, and BMW Team GB number 55 up to 4th place with 22 points.
The battle is on in all classes. Three-way battle now for the lead in GTE. Green flag racing into the closing stages.